The comparison trap. Why we do it. Have you ever scrolled through social media and felt like you were falling behind in life? Like everyone else is achieving more, living better, and moving ahead while you're stuck in the same place? You're not alone. The urge to compare is almost second nature. We do it subconsciously, comparing our looks, wealth, career, even our happiness to others. But here's the truth. When you compare yourself to others, you rob yourself of your own unique journey. Bill Gates once said, "Don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do so, you are insulting yourself." But what does that really mean? And why is comparison so dangerous? Let's break it down. What does "don't compare yourself to others" really mean? When Bill Gates said, "Don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do so, you are insulting yourself," he wasn't just offering motivational advice, he was pointing out a deep truth about individual potential. It means that your journey is unique. No one else has your exact experiences, skills, or opportunities. When you compare yourself to others, you're using their path as a measuring stick for your life, which is unfair to you. Imagine a fish judging itself by how well it can climb a tree compared to a monkey. It's pointless because the fish was never meant to climb in the first place. So instead of looking sideways, look forward. Focus on your own growth, your own skills, and your own progress. Why is comparison so dangerous? Kills motivation. When you compare yourself to someone ahead of you, you might feel discouraged instead of inspired. Instead of working on your goals, you might start thinking, "What's the point? I'll never be as good as them." Creates false realities. Social media has made it easier than ever to compare. But here's the problem. People only show their best moments. You see someone's perfect vacation, new car, or promotion, but you don't see their struggles, failures, or self-doubt. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. Steals your joy. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." When you constantly measure yourself against others, you forget to appreciate what you already have. Instead of celebrating your progress, you're too busy feeling like you're not enough. Distracts you from your purpose. Imagine if Bill Gates had spent his early years obsessing over what Steve Jobs was doing instead of building Microsoft. He would have wasted time and energy on someone else's path instead of focusing on his own. The truth is, the only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Solution: our measure progress, not people. Limit comparison triggers like social media. Celebrate small wins and personal growth. Remember, everyone has struggles, you just don't see them. By focusing on your own journey, you'll be happier, more confident, and ultimately more successful. Just like Bill Gates and other great minds who refuse to compare themselves to others. The hidden dangers of comparison. Comparison is a game with no winners. The more you play, the worse you feel. But why? Let's talk about the psychological effects of comparison. When you compare yourself to others, your brain triggers negative emotions, stress, anxiety, and even depression. You start to feel like you're not enough. And here's the ironic part. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Think about it. On social media, people only show their best moments. You don't see their struggles, failures, or insecurities. And this isn't just about social media. It happens in real life too. But here's what people forget. Bill Gates was once unknown, sitting in a garage, working tirelessly on something that no one believed in. He didn't compare himself to Steve Jobs or any other entrepreneur. He focused on his own path. The power of focusing on your own path. Here's a truth that can set you free. You are not in competition with anyone but yourself. Bill Gates didn't become the world's richest man by constantly checking what others were doing. He focused on his own growth. And guess what? The same applies to you. Instead of measuring your success against someone else's timeline, focus on progress over perfection. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. Measure backward, not sideways. Instead of looking at others, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, last year, or 5 years ago. Are you learning, growing, improving? That's real success. Embrace the long game. Life isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. The people you admire, they spent years building their success. Focus on consistent small wins rather than overnight success. Limit your exposure to triggers. If social media makes you feel behind, curate your feed. Follow people who inspire, not those who make you feel less than. And most importantly, spend more time creating than consuming. Remember this: your journey is unique. Your timeline is yours. How the greats overcame comparison. Let's be honest. Comparison is human nature. Even the most successful people in the world have felt it at some point. But what separates them? They didn't let it control them. Let's take Bill Gates as an example. When he started, he wasn't the only one in the game. There were dozens of tech geniuses working on software. Apple was already making waves. But Gates, he didn't obsess over others. He obsessed over innovation. His focus wasn't on beating Apple or IBM. It was on building something great. What can we learn from this? The most successful people don't waste time comparing. They use that energy to create, innovate, and grow. And it's not just in business. Oprah Winfrey was once told she wasn't fit for TV. Instead of comparing herself to other hosts, she built her own media empire. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. She didn't focus on other authors. She focused on telling her story. Now, here's the big question. What if you redirected your energy? What if, instead of comparing, you started creating, learning, and improving? Imagine where you'd be 1 year from now. The Stoic approach: true success is internal. Let's take a step back. Why do we compare ourselves in the first place? At its core, comparison comes from insecurity, the feeling that we're not enough. But what if we told you that true success has nothing to do with others? The Stoics had a simple yet powerful belief. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. You can't control how successful someone else becomes. You can't control what others think of you, but you can control how you think, how you act, and how you grow. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote in his journal, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Let that sink in. The only person you should seek to impress is the person you were yesterday. So here's the final message. Stop comparing. Start building. Define success on your own terms, and if you do that, you'll never feel behind again. If you're ready to break free from comparison and focus on your journey, drop "I'm in" the comments. Let's grow together.